Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lauren Crawford, world language teacher, and I am so happy to welcome you to Ashley Liu's senior speech. Please join me in welcoming Ashley's parents, Shushan Lo Liu and Grant Liu. You are all in for such a treat this afternoon. Ashley chose a topic that intrigued and challenged her. It will require your attention because understanding Ashley's revelations about paradoxes will be instrumental to your well-being in life and how you make choices on a daily basis. I've been intrigued by paradoxes as well, so working with Ashley to prepare for today's speech has been educational, enlightening, and fun. Ashley is a prep lifer. She started her Cavalier journey in kindergarten, but fun fact number one, by the time she enrolled into her first prep class, she'd already been playing the violin for 2 years and practicing Taekwondo for 1. Fun fact number 2, I personally was one of Ashley's swimming instructors at Dolphin Academy when she was really little. I love to brag about that because one day in the future she'll remember me when she makes it big. Or she'll give me a shout out if she falls off a harbor cruise after cosplaying Titanic and has to swim to a buoy to await a helicopter rescue. Ashley is not just a prep lifer, she is part of its lifeblood. She is somewhat stealthily involved in a wide-ranging variety of clubs, sports, and organizations that help sketch a picture of her as a well-rounded member of this community. All 4 years of high school, Ashley trained for and ran for varsity cross country, and she is currently captain. For 4 years, she has participated in varsity track and field. She serves our school on the Honors Education Council and is currently vice president. Our chapter of the National Honor Society benefits from her leadership as current president. And I will round out this brief profile of our speaker by telling you that she is obviously plotting worldwide domination since she is co-president and co-founder of the Global Perspectives Club. It's always the quiet ones you have to watch out for. In all seriousness, I watched Ashley in her many roles on campus and admire her inclusive and collaborative nature. She truly listens, considers, and evaluates, whether she is in a classroom, preparing for a meet, or helping steer a challenging AGC hearing. She is a kind ally, a loyal friend, a dedicated student, and a pretty cool human. And fun fact number 3, Ashley is a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I will let you ponder that for a minute. If you haven't figured it out yet, I will spell it out for you. If the zombie apocalypse were to happen, you should pick Ashley to be on your survival team. With that in mind, let's give our undivided attention to Ashley as she speaks today about paradoxes.
Thank you, Senora Crawford, for the guidance and feedback you've given me. You really helped me shape this speech into something I'm proud of, and I couldn't have done it without you. And to my parents, thank you for always being there for me. I really wouldn't be here without your support and encouragement. Life is full of moments that challenge our understanding, where things aren't always as they seem. Take the parable of the blind man and the elephant. Each man touches a different part of the elephant: the trunk, the tail, the leg, and so on. The first man insists that elephants are smooth and solid like a wall. A second man declares that an elephant is giant like a snake. The third man said, no, this creature is as sharp and deadly as a spear. Each man goes on thinking that the part he touches represents the elephant as a whole, missing the full picture. Our limited perspectives can lead to conflicting truths. When logic and reality contradict each other, we are face to face with a paradox. Paradoxes are seemingly contradictory or absurd truths, but are often hidden in plain sight, shaping our day-to-day decisions and experiences. At first glance, these contradictions may seem like obstacles, but when we pause to reflect, we realize it can enrich our lives and deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. You're scrolling through Netflix and there are just endless options: movies, series, and documentaries. At first, it seems like ultimate freedom. There's so many possibilities to choose from. But as you try to pick, the hours slip by, and you end up watching whatever autoplays next. Despite all those choices, you feel lost, uncertain, and exhausted. the idea that more options lead to greater freedom is often an illusion. In reality, the human brain is not equipped to handle an overwhelming number of choices. The more options we face, the harder it becomes to evaluate each one fully, leading to cognitive overload and decision fatigue. Eventually, we end up avoiding decisions altogether, or choosing what feels easiest and safest. When faced with an overwhelming number of choices, it can be easy to freeze up. I find myself in situations where someone asks, "What's your senior speech about?" Or, "Where should we go to eat?" I often say, "I don't know." Even deciding how to approach a simple task can leave me paralyzed by uncertainty. Over time, I realized my struggle wasn't about being indecisive, but it was the complete number of options that made every decision feel like a challenge. This constant feeling of being overwhelmed is what drew me to the concept of the paradox of choice, and how too many options can make decisions harder, not easier. This paradox challenges the belief that more choices lead to better outcomes. Research shows that when given fewer, more manageable options, we make decisions more quickly and with greater satisfaction. Instead of maximizing, we end up satisficing, choosing something good enough rather than perfect. And paradoxically, this leads to greater satisfaction. By limiting our choices and reducing mental strain, we experience more freedom and fewer regrets. Imagine it's late at night and you're about to go to sleep, but you tell yourself, just 5 more minutes of scrolling. That's what Rand told herself before she spent hours on TikTok last night. At first it was just a few posts to unwind, but before she knew it, 2 hours had gone by and it was 3 a.m. You've lost track of time, and the minutes quickly vanished, and you're left wondering where the hours went. Yet, in a different scenario, say you're waiting for your senior speech to start, time feels like it's stretching endlessly, and 5 minutes feels like 5 hours. Time, in these two cases, passes at completely different speeds, but in both situations, the clock keeps ticking at the same rate. The paradox of time lies in a perception of it. When we are deeply engaged in something we enjoy, time flies. But when we're bored or anxious, it drags. This happens because of our internal clock, which is a system in our brain that keeps track of time. It sends pulses that accumulate and help us estimate time. When we're emotionally stimulated, like when we're excited or stressed, the internal clock speeds up, making time feel like it's passing faster. And it slows down when we're anxious or disengaged. It is not the passage of time itself that changes, but our experience of it. What is even more paradoxical is how we control time. The more we focus on managing it, watching the clock, setting a schedule, the more time seems to slip away. Ironically, the more we try to control it, the more it controls us. But when we let go of this obsession and immerse ourselves in the present, time feels fuller, richer, and more meaningful. Time, it turns out, is not something to be controlled, but something to be experienced. Free will is one of the central ideas we hold dearly in modern life. The belief that we can shape our own destinies by making independent choices. But the paradox of free will is revealed when we recognize that much of what we choose is influenced by forces beyond our awareness. Our decisions, while they feel personal and independent, are often shaped by subconscious bias, social pressure, cultural norms, and even biological factors. In fact, research in neuroscience and psychology reveals how our brains can make decisions before we are even aware of them, further complicating our understanding of free will. Take a moment to reflect on your daily choices, from what you wear, to what you eat, to the people you surround yourself with. Even the smallest decisions are influenced by forces we don't fully recognize. The ads you saw on Instagram, the trends you notice on TikTok, and the subtle pressure to fit in. These external influences shape our choices. We feel free, but our freedom is often guided by invisible forces. The truth is, free will is not as absolute as we like to believe. Recognizing the limitations of our freedom doesn't mean we lack choice entirely, but we can approach life with a deeper understanding of the forces that influence us. We can make more conscious decisions and navigate our paths with greater awareness. The first step in taking back your self-determination is recognizing the external forces that made you think skinny jeans were ever it. By examining these influences, we can better distinguish between decisions that truly come from our own values and those that are reactions to external pressures. Self-improvement is a common pursuit in our world. We set goals, make plans, and strive to become the best versions of ourselves. But the paradox of self-improvement is that the more we improve, the more we fixate on our flaws. Jack's been practicing his threes for weeks, giving it his all. But when the game's over, instead of feeling proud of his effort, all he can focus on are the moments when his shots weren't falling, where he could have done better, and it's frustrating. Or you're like Randy, who spent hours studying, confident that she was ready for the exam. But as soon as she handed it in, she realized she had answered some questions incorrectly. It frustrated her because she knew the right answers, but in the moment she had chosen the wrong ones. Can Jack and Randy ever truly feel ready? Each step forward reveals new challenges, new areas for growth, and we begin to wonder if there's ever a point where we truly feel finished. When we improve in one area, our health, in school, or relationships, we discover new goals, raising the bar even higher. We find ourselves on a never-ending treadmill, where satisfaction is fleeting and the pursuit of perfection is always just out of reach. This is the paradox of growth. The more we achieve, the more flaws we perceive. What's more, the process of self-improvement is often reoccurring. We accomplish one goal, and before we can even enjoy the success, the next challenge looms large. The bar keeps shifting, and with it, the sense of fulfillment. This constant striving for improvement can sometimes feel exhausting and overwhelming. But this paradox holds a deeper truth. Self-improvement isn't about reaching an end goal of attaining perfection. It's about embracing the journey of growth, learning, and adapting. When we let go of the idea that we must arrive at some ideal versions of ourselves, we can enjoy the process without the pressure of constant comparison or expectation. Think about how much you've already improved this semester. Whether you're better at managing your time, feeling more confident in speaking up in class, or hitting your goals in practice. It is not about being perfect, but about making progress and learning from each new challenge. These paradoxes are not problems to solve, but invitations to explore the richness of life. They challenge our assumptions, deepen our awareness, and reveal the layers of complexity beneath the surface of our everyday experiences. Much like the blind man and the elephant, life's paradoxes offer us different perspectives that, when considered together, reveal a fuller truth. Each person, like each blind man, may only grasp a piece of the larger picture, whether it's time, freedom, or personal growth. But when we listen to the contradictions, when we step outside our limited view, we begin to sense the connectedness of all things, like the elephant in its entirety. By embracing paradoxes, we open ourselves to the deeper truths of life. That time doesn't always behave the way we think it should. That freedom is not as absolute as we believe. That self-improvement is an ongoing process rather than a destination. So the next time you find yourself caught in one of life's paradoxes, take a moment to pause and reflect. It is in these contradictions that we find the greatest opportunities for growth, wisdom, and understanding. Life's paradoxes are what make it worth living.